Alrighty, guys, I wanted to go over problems 25 and 29 from your homework. 25, you're not going to really see anything like this on a quiz or a test, but it's a really good problem just to see if you're kind of understanding the basic concepts of adding and subtracting rational expressions. So, first thing is we need to have common denominators. I need all of these denominators to look exactly the same. So I'm going to go through each one and make sure that they have what every other term has. So let's start with this first one. So I have a 3 times an x. So I'm asking, okay, this term has to have everything that these other terms have. So this other term has an x to the power of 3. This 3x does not. So in order for it to have an x to the power of 3, I need to multiply it by x squared. If I multiply this x by x squared, then I'll have x to the power of 3. Now I go to the last term. So this term has a 5. This term does not have a 5. So I'm going to multiply it by 5. This term has an x. My term has 3 x's now, or x to the third power. So I don't need any more x's. But this term also has a y. So I'm also going to multiply by a y. Now I'm going to go to the next term. And I'm going to see, okay, this has an x cubed. Let's see, what does this term have? This term has a 3. This guy does not have a 3, so I'm going to multiply this term right here by a 3. I know, and that's it. This has x cubed, and this has an x, so I know I have it. Let's go to this term. This has a 5. This term needs a 5, so I'm also going to multiply it by a 5. This term has an x, and my term has an x. This term has a y, so this term needs a y, so I'm also going to multiply it by a y. And then we're going to go to this last one. So this has a 5 and an x and a y. This term has a 3, so I need to multiply it by a 3. These two already share an x, so I don't need an x. This term has a y, and that looks good. If we look at this guy right here, this one has an x cubed. This one does not have an x cubed. So in order for it to have an x cubed, I need to multiply it by x squared. Now they all have exactly the same terms. All we need to do is multiply the bottom and the top. So I'm going to multiply this top by whatever I multiply the denominator by. So it would be y times 5 times x squared. Same thing here, whatever I multiply the denominator by, I'm going to multiply the top by. Times 3 times 5 times y. And same thing with this last one. All right, and now we're ready to rewrite this entire fraction. We know that the common denominator is going to be all of these terms multiplied together, right? They're all the same. So let's go ahead and multiply them together. I have a y times a 5 times x squared times 3 times x. So I'm going to put this numbers first. So 5 times 3 times x to the power of 3 times y. And let's go ahead and multiply each guy on top and add it together. So I've got 4 times 5 is just 20. And then I have an x squared times y. Then I'm adding that to my second term, which is 8 times 3 times 5. So that's going to be 8 times 3 is 24. And then 24 times 5, I believe that's going to be, let's double check, just to make sure, 24 times 5 is 120. That's what I thought. Just got to make sure, though. So I end up with 120. And then y. So done there. Now I go to the last term, and I've got plus 6 x squared. And I look at these terms and see if there's anything that I can simplify. And since these are all pluses and minuses, I think that's it. I'm going to multiply 5 times 3, though, so that this gives me 15. And I think that is it.